We are so excited to have you today. This free webinar services is in collaboration between the MUNPARLAS Library Association Incorporated and the University of the East Library and Information Science Alumni Association Incorporated. This webinar will hopefully empower library and information professionals to embrace the challenges in the new normal setting and to develop online library programs, services, and activities in a creative manner. I am Ms. Jen. MLI Secretary will be your moderator for this afternoon's webinar. Our presenter will be Mr. Kevin Conrad Titanchonko. Later, I will introduce him more. But before we get into it, I would like to go on over a few things to keep in mind for today's presentation. So these are the webinar guidelines. First one, of course, is please kindly mute your audio, microphone. Please keep your device muted. And don't interrupt the speaker. Please wait for the Q&A to ask questions. All right, so for questions during the presentation, please add your questions via Mentimeter. Just simply go to www.menti.com and use the code 5340. Details will also be commented at the chat box, so please check on the chat box at the right side of your screen. You may start adding your questions anytime when the presentation starts. Q&A will be entertained at the end of the session. So we will be monitoring your questions and we'll make sure to answer some of your questions at the end of the session. And last, the feedback form. So the feedback form link will be available at this session, at the end of the session. All right, so at this point, we'll go ahead and get started. Let me now introduce to you our speaker. Our speaker today, we are pleased to welcome Mr. Kevin Conrad Titanchonko, a man of volunteerism and all smiles. He will be sharing with us about library services for distance learning. He believes that we must do everything with God. He was a graduate of Bachelor of Library and Information Science at University of the East Manila. He is currently affiliated at Electronic Information Solutions Incorporated as Product Specialist for Library Management and Security Solutions, the founder of the Magbasa Tayo movement, the Vice President External of I Am Making a Difference, Board of Director of Association of Special Library of the Philippines or the ASLP, and the President of the University of the East Library and Information Science Alumni Association Incorporated or the UELISAAI. And with that, I ask that you give your full attention to Sir Kevin. Sir Kevin, it's so great to have you join us today. Are you ready? Please go ahead.
Hi, Jen.
Hi,
Good
Sir
afternoon.
Kevin. Good afternoon.
Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Okay. So, thank you very much, Ms. Jen, for that introduction. I'll just start presenting now.
Yes, po.
Can you see my screen, Ms. Jen?
Yes, po. You can see your screen, sir.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for giving us your time this afternoon to listen to our webinar in discussion to library services for distance learning. Maayong hapon, marahay nga hapon, magandang hapon po, and good afternoon again to all that are listening right now here at Google Meet and at the same time to our FB live streaming. So maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. So again, I'm Kevin Conrad Kitansyongko. I'm the founder of Magbasa Tayo Movement, a library and reading advocate. So aside from that, I work as a product specialist for library management and security solution of Electronic Information Solutions Incorporated for 5 years now. So I'm working with library technology for 5 years, specializing in integrated library system, RFID, and other technologies for libraries. So today, we are going to discuss some of the very important points at this moment of pandemic. Let's start by understanding the library in the new normal, distance learning, library support distance learning, the challenges of the libraries in the new normal, and tools and platforms for library services for distance learning. So these tools and platforms would be a suggestion on how are you going to deliver your library services in time of pandemic, and not only this time, but also to try new possibilities of library services that we can offer for distance learning. Okay, so let's just start with a definition of what's new normal. So the term new normal was coined by Dr. Mohammed Al-Aryan, PIMCO CEO and co-chief investment officer at the height of the global financial crisis in 2009. So to capture how events that were previously abnormal had become commonplace, creating a fundamentally new economic landscape. Specifically, the new normal was used to describe the difficulty of the global financial system to revert to its pre-2007 state of high leverage, strong growth, and low government intervention in the economy. This is according to Edelson 2020. And I got this definition from the presentation of Dr. Fernandez. And thank you so much, Dr. Fernand, for sharing your this information. Before, new normal was just started by having this financial crisis in the world. But this time, new normal affects everyone in the entire world. May it be in the industry, the corporate side, and now even the libraries are looking into and how are we going to develop services for the new normal. The same thing, new normal state typically starts with a triggering event, such as a quantum change in political, economic, social, or technological environment. And that is what's happening today. This then leads to large-scale, high-frequency adaptations to the new situation by a myriad of actors at the macro and micro levels, leading to widespread effects that diverge from the past status quo. This is also come from Adelson. So as you can see, new normal affects all of us. Since the start of the quarantine in March 16, up to this time, we are looking for what we can do to our libraries in this new normal. It could be this time of pandemic or after the pandemic, because we're not so sure if we're still going back to the normal that we have before. And I think this time of pandemic is an eye-opener to everyone that we can deliver more services to other platforms and to other types of services. And I think every one of you is not new to distance learning, not new to digital library, not new to any online resources that we have, because this was already a discussion for a long time ago. But this time, we don't have any choice but also to dwell on this type of services, because most of the libraries nowadays are closed. Library in the new normal started by following the guidelines and protocols from the Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases in the Philippines. The library in the new normal, it's not only started with this time in the Philippines, but also in the entire world. So in the Philippines, our library started closed. Most of the libraries started closing their doors on March 16, 2020, when the quarantine starts. And most likely, Metro Manila is the most affected at that time because some of the positive patients for COVID-19 started in Metro Manila. But this time, locations in different parts of the Philippines has this quarantine concerns also. As per the IATF, some of the allowed industries that are open in this time of pandemic was categorized to category 1 to category 4. And as you can see in the slides, libraries, archives, museums, and cultural centers are under category 4 and not allowed to be open on ECQ, modified ECQ, and GCQ. And I think from MGCQ to those areas was under MGCQ, libraries are allowed, but with some reservation in terms of they need to follow protocols and physical distancing in terms of how many numbers or capacity are allowed to go inside the libraries and the like. That's why majority of our libraries and librarians are working hard to deliver different different services for our clients, even though the libraries are closed. This is one of the sample of a library in Manila. Thank you to Dr. Rosette for allowing me to share the photos of their library while they are preparing for the reopening of the libraries as of this time. So these are just a way and at the same time in preparation for the reopening of the libraries if that period will come. So they provided, they create a DIY intervention in every tables and chairs inside the library. And as far as I know, with that with that table of 4 chairs, they will only allow 2 persons to sit within that chair. At the same time, some of our public libraries are also doing some preparation for the new normal. So this, I got this photo at the Philippine Public Libraries group. This is the Samar Provincial Library. So they created also a plastic cover so that there will be no interaction with other clients inside the library if they open. So most likely face mask will be a usual part of our fashion at this moment. Always observe social and physical distancing for 1 meter as prescribed by United Nations and limited only to 20 researchers only. With regards to your physical library, if you plan to reopen it, the capacity would always depend on the total numbers of allowed users in the library, because it's possible from the 40 capacity, most likely maybe this time of the new normal, you will only allow 10 or 15 who will go inside the library. So we need to consider those things in the future. Also, we have this from Iloilo City Public Library. So they provided plastic cover for their circulation desk and the tables. And also, I've attended an international webinar, and this is coming from Bremen Public Library. Luckily, in their case in Europe, as far as I know, it's in Europe, they already allowed for the reopening of their libraries, but with some protocols to be followed. So as you can see in the photo, they have blue and white signage anywhere. Their cafe is closed, and then they provide self-service devices, etc., to lessen the physical interaction to librarians, and at the same time to the clients. At the same time, the Orange County Library System, as you can see, there are only one side for entry and there are only one side for exit. At the same time, soft kiosk is everywhere, book drop is everywhere, and as you can see in terms of spacing, it's a 1 meter away from each other with the tables and computer sets that they have. So, how can we support distance learning? But before we support distance learning, we need to understand first what is distance learning, what's the definition of distance learning, and what are the things that we have to support distance learning. So distance learning is also called distance education, e-learning, and online learning. Form of education in which the main elements include physical separation of teachers and students during instruction and the use of various technologies to facilitate student-teacher and student-student communication. With the DepEd guidelines, as far as you know, August would be the month of the opening of classes. And I think majority of the teachers and librarians are working in preparation for the new normal in terms of education. So with distance learning, how the libraries can help our teachers in providing their curriculum and the references for all the modules that they are doing at this moment. There are different types of distance learning. So distance learning is not just merely online, because we have modular distance learning and we have online distance learning. When we say modular distance learning, there are two different types, printed and digital. This is in terms of the materials that you're going to provide to your students and to your teachers. By printed, you can print modules, you can print articles, or you can print resources and provide it to your teachers, possible by delivery, by scheduling, if where are they going to get the materials, or where are you going to meet with them and get the materials. So technically, this is the usual possible document delivery service. So it's a printed materials. So that's why some of our teachers right now are printing their modules for every subject, and some in the in the provinces I saw that they are delivering their modules to every houses of their students. But it would depend on your setup with your teachers. Maybe you can print your references with regards to curriculum making of the teachers, so you can deliver it to them. And one option is digital. You can use CD or flash drive, hard drive, and save the necessary resources needed by those researchers and deliver it to them. In the case of metro cities, there are alternative way of delivering those kind of services. You can book it, maybe. You can book it through Grab Express, you can book it through Lalamove, and those kind of delivery applications. But again, it would depend on the setup and on the budget of the library, if it's hardly needed or if it's available. One thing,
Sir
aside
Kevin,
from modular distance,
sir.
yes,
Sir,
sorry.
sir, parang may problem
Yes.
lang tayo sa share screen. Yung iba daw hindi nakikita yung PowerPoint.
Okay, let's try again.
Can we check?
No worry.
Opo. Paulit na lang, sir.
I'll
yung
try
share screen.
to share again. Thank you, Jen.
Sige po.
Wait for a while. But they can hear. Can they hear my presentation?
Yes.
Or they can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll try again. How about this one?
Ayan. Hopefully okay na.
Okay.
Sa akin okay.
Okay, just let me know then.
We'll
Okay,
check
thank
the
you very
comments,
much,
sir.
Jen.
Okay po.
So going back, let's go to the second type of distance learning. Aside from those modular distance learning, we also have online distance learning, which is synchronous and asynchronous. And I think majority of us librarians know this type of services because we have this synchronous and asynchronous for virtual reference services. So when we say synchronous, um, this is the real-time delivering of service. May it be um, through email, not through email, through chat, through online conferencing, and the like. So most likely, you have a face-to-face interaction with your clients, but through different platforms. Like for example, you have your online meeting, online conferencing app, like we have right now, very famous is Zoom, Google Meet that we are using right now, and the like. So majority right now, majority of those providers are having this free or basic package so that you can access with a limited time or with a limited number of participants. So you can deliver those type of service. So if you're planning to have it, for example, your class will start in August 24, and you're planning to create a library orientation, or you wanted to organize a library orientation, that's where you can use the synchronous type of distance learning. Okay? And if you wanted to make it real time. So next one is asynchronous. This one it could be a self-paced system. You can have it record all those materials and put it in a platform. So you can put it on YouTube if you have a YouTube channel for your library, or if you have Facebook pages, you can send and schedule and preview videos. It depends on your schedule for your program, or on your program for distance learning support. So those are the different types of distance learning. So now, how or where do we start? What do we need to do? And I think it's time for us to think, because everyone was shocked, and I believe that we are in transition as of this moment of how we can deliver this type of service. I know that everyone, maybe most of us, are bombarded with a lot of digital resources available online. Some of the publishers provided free access to different ebooks, different e-resources, and I understand some of you are working alone with your libraries. So sometimes it's hard to start. Where are you going to start, right? So maybe it's time, if you're still not decided as of this moment of how are you going to deliver, sit down, schedule your activities, and think of what is the priority, of what is the needed things that you need to deliver first before the other things. So let's need to identify factors on how to support distance learning, because I understand some libraries are not same as some, that they have a good infrastructure, they have good computers, they have good internet access, and the like. That's why I describe and I share with you different types of distance learning so that you would have another options aside from online. So the things to consider as of this moment is the library staff skills. How keen are your people in delivering this type of services? Or how what is the level of skills that they have in terms of delivering this type of services? Maybe this is the right time to look for your strength as an individual, as a librarian, as a library staff in the library, of where you can contribute more to deliver library services. At the same thing, it's a problem right now because of digital divide. Not all of our clients are into online. Not all of our clients know how to access ebooks online. Especially, this would be a challenge for public libraries because they have a lot of clients in the library. Unlike school, unlike academic and special, I think most of their clients are already knowledgeable in terms of accessing those type of skills. That's why we librarians also wanted to help our public librarians in enhancing skills and at the same time deliver those services to our clients. So to those public librarians that are here, I know that you have a lot of clients. So we will also try to create some instructions or some infographics through our Facebook pages that you can share to your clients so that they will know also how to access this type of materials. Library infrastructures that includes computers, how good is your bandwidth in your internet, how good is your Wi-Fi access, because this would be most likely right now, it's a need for us to have a good Wi-Fi access to different types of libraries so that we can deliver a good online resources. At the same time, library platform or devices, like where are our clients would access our ebooks collection? Where are those clients we're going to access our online public access catalog? Are our OPAC available online or not? So those are the things that we need to check right now. At the same time, for those who are working in academic and public and in school, also consider the curriculum or the course offering, because as far as I know, some of the universities in some schools right now has a hardship in the enrollees, if how many are still enrolling. So this is a challenge for us. How many will enroll on the online learning platform? So what are the curriculum and the course offering this time in this coming August, so that you can also prepare some materials that you need, like online resources, ebooks, open educational resources that you can find right now in preparation to the new curriculum. And at the same time, you need to know also and understand what is your institution's mode of learning. Like, how are they going to deliver their classes? If they're going to use learning management system, if they're going to use the usual online conferencing platform, or what. So these are the things that you need to write down and sit down and check with your library staff and your library personnel. And I know it's hard for those working as a one-man librarian because syempre, it's hard for you to also create services with this a low number of staff or personnel. But I do believe in our skills that we can do it. Let's be optimistic that we can deliver a better service this time. So I think SWOT analysis is very important as of this moment. Look for the strength, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and threats that you can find so that you can create a better service, or you can get a good output at the end of what are the things that you're going to start with, what are the things that you're going to prioritize. So you can use this one. I know everyone is very familiar with this type of analysis because we use it sometimes in analyzing our services in the library. So right now, let's go to the challenges of the libraries in the new normal. One, especially not only for public or government, but also in different types of libraries, the budget and procurement process. I heard some librarians are saying that there is a budget cut because of a lower number of enrollees, but there are some who are saying that it was an opportunity to have an additional budget because the administration see the need to purchase online resources and some online or integrated library system that could deliver our library services as this time. So this is one thing that you need to consider because not all libraries has the same amount of budget and not all libraries has the same process of procuring. Especially this time in the state universities for the bidding and award, it's very hard for the suppliers also to go to your institution because of protocols in travel, because of protocols of face-to-face interaction. So there are kind of some delays in terms of um, bidding possible. So those are the things that you need to consider. How are you going to purchase and what are the factors that you need to consider in buying? Because here, online resources needs to be evaluated and assessed well because there's different costs in terms of online resources and printed materials. So I would suggest you go with the materials or online resources that you really need that you can maximize to be in use for your distance learning services. Next one is manpower. Again, it's most likely to be hard for those one-man librarian. But then again, I believe in your hard work, perseverance, and optimism that we can do this. And I think the entire library profession is here to also support and also at the same time help you out if you have anything that it's not clear for you or it's something that you wanted to know more about this distance. But those at the same time, it also one thing that you can consider in manpower with connection to skills. If you're planning to hire more, I'm not sure if you're hiring at this moment, but if you're planning to hire people or personnel in the library, one thing that is an advantage is that the librarian has this knowledge into information technology, IT, databases, etc. So this is as far as I can see and in my own understanding and my opinion, those librarians with IT skills most likely would be more I think advantageous or there is a more advantageous to the libraries when hiring because with, going to the new normal, it could possibly be one of the top skills that we're looking for librarians. So infrastructures in preparation for your wireless fidelity or Wi-Fi access, remote access, or online learning system. So let's go to tools and platforms for library services for distance learning. These are just examples of what you can do. But we are not saying that all of this is applicable in your situation or in your libraries. It would depend on the setup and it would depend on the status of your library as of this moment. But hopefully, there is something that you can get from these suggestions and you can get something, a tool or a platform that you can use for the delivery of services. One is social media platform. As of this moment, because majority of us are at home and as research is concerned, there is a high increase of usage of social media platform. And some of our libraries already have this online. They already have their Facebook pages, their Twitter accounts, their Instagram accounts, and the like. So, social media platforms can be used for communication, marketing and promotion, and programming. Majority of us are online as of this moment. Majority of us are checking our Facebook pages to see announcements, to see news, to see a lot of things, to see a lot of information. That's why I am recommending if your library could have a Facebook page. Please don't be mistaken. Facebook page is different from Facebook accounts. And for libraries, archives, or anything, we suggest that you have your Facebook pages that your users and clients can follow. So in terms of communication, you can use this platform to talk to your clients and at the same time to promote your library services at this time of pandemic. So we have a lot of graphic platform right now like canva.com that you can use in creating your posters. So no need to be more into arts if you're not into art, but canva.com can help you creating your infographics, creating your posters and the like. And social media platform could be a good platform to market your program and to market your services. And most likely by introducing that libraries are working and that libraries are essential in this time of pandemic. And lastly, programming. When I say programming, this is not the IT thing. When I say programming, these are programs of the libraries. Like for example, you have webinars, you have library orientation, you have information literacy programs. You can post it here. And for some public libraries right now, they have storytelling, online storytelling, story times, etc. that was posted in Facebook pages and Twitter and Instagram. So maximize the presence of this platform because one thing, it's free. You don't need to pay for those platforms. Next one, e-resources. When the pandemic starts in March, in terms of quarantine, good thing our friend from the publishing company provided us open access audiobooks, open access ebooks, open educational resources, open access databases, and open access journals. And this is an opportunity for us to have this type of collections. And I saw a lot on Facebook. Our librarians are working hard to download this open access resources, and that's good. But put it on our mind that we can only download ebooks and we can only share ebooks or different e-resources which are open access. Please be careful in sharing those materials or resources shared on Facebook that was scanned only and just posted online, because this is something to say on copyright issues and intellectual property. So I would suggest you go to well-known publishers who provide this open access ebooks or resources. Look for a legit what we call this platform where you can get open access. Like for example, the DOAJ, the Directory of Open Access Journals, the Directory of Open Access Books, etc., the Project Gutenberg, and the like. So those are some well-known open access platforms where you can get open access resources. So be careful in sharing because we also need to help and protect our publishers and at the same time our authors at this time of pandemic. I understand that we really have this feelings of really helping our clients, but we are bound to some laws and regulations. Next one, online conferencing. If before you have, for example, you have an information literacy program in your libraries, and I think it goes beyond different libraries, where you offer plagiarism talk, about information literacy, about different services in the reference section. Now that you cannot do it physically or a face-to-face interaction with your clients, you can do it with different platform with an online conferencing. Same thing with our public libraries, and I'm very happy also because our public libraries right now are pushing also with online virtual programming. Like they offer, like for example, I saw on Facebook, the Quezon City Public Library is offering a different webinars. So they have conferencing through messenger rooms, through Zoom, through Google Meet, and through Microsoft Teams. So most of these platforms has a free package or a basic package where you can use for online conferencing. At the same time, you can use this for meeting to your library staff and also for limited numbers of participants where you wanted to do a program for them. Communications, right now communication is very important. To communicate to your staff, to communicate with your clients, to your faculty, to your teachers, on how libraries can support them. And I think as a support or as a client service or as a service-oriented profession, we wanted also to serve and to help our teachers and our faculties, our constituents to gather information about the pandemic. And I think the library can help a lot in delivering information about the pandemic at the same time because we have these skills in organizing data and information. So we can use email, we can use messenger, instant messaging like through phone, through text, where you can deliver information. You can use it and mass mailing tools like MailChimp. When I say mass mailing tools, example, you have this one information to be shared to all your clients, and then to make it one-time sending, you can use a mass mailing tools, and they are available online. So there are questions actually. There are some libraries or librarians and some library science students who keep on asking me on Facebook, like they message me, sir, how libraries are relevant this time, especially that we are closed right now, and there are students who are saying na para saan pa ang library at this moment, sarado naman siya. Maybe this is an opportunity for us to deliver services. And sorry, there is someone who's on mic. So there are Hi, Miss Jen. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Miss Jen, parang may naka-on na audio. Sorry.
Sige po, we'll mute it, sir.
Thank you, guys. So, technically, right now is a perfect time also. It's an opportunity for us. I know that we can do a lot of things in this time of pandemic. We can serve, even though our libraries, our door are closed, we can deliver our services. So through this type of platforms, we can do some things. Another thing is library technology. The presence of integrated library system, document delivery service, digitization, discovery services, cloud services, and self-service are also in. I think most of the libraries right now already have an OPAC. The only thing that we need to consider right now if it's only accessible in premise, meaning in the library only, or it's accessible online. One thing, document delivery service, in what type of document delivery service you can do. One, I saw on Facebook, I have a good friend, a good librarian. I saw that she delivered the books to a faculty. So, she has a car. So, siya mismo ang nag-deliver ng book sa faculty niya. So, it was searched through their online public access catalog, through web, and then it was reserved and it was delivered. At the same thing, I saw a post abroad that drone services are also delivering document delivery service. So they use drone to deliver books to deliver documents and the like. But there's a lot of things that you can look into as long as you can deliver. But most likely, it would depend again. I would say it's a disclaimer to everyone. Not all would possibly suited to your situation right now. But these are the things that you could look into and you can use. Digitization, like this are the things that we do also. I think for the past 5 years, libraries are into digitizing their own publications, their own thesis and dissertations. Again, with respect to copyright laws, don't forget that. And right now, as you can see, when I do search, like for example, the CIFTech library has this good digitization, digital library. I think UP Diliman has it, the UP library, Benguet State University, they have it, and a lot. So marami na pong mga naka-digitize na content through their integrated library system, through their own digital library platform and the like. And you can find it online. And some are available for download, some are for request. So one thing, discovery services, these are into databases, different databases that you can put into one system where you can access all databases in the library. But take note that this is a subscription. So there are things that you need to consider in terms of budget. Next is cloud services. Cloud services, this means that your storage is on the cloud, literally. It's on the cloud. So you're paying for subscription to store your digital content, your library system, and the like. So to avoid, sometimes they invest in cloud services also to lessen the monitoring of hardware and servers in the library. So with a cloud service, it's a subscription. Again, you need to consider budget. And lastly is self-service. Because we have this provision or guidelines and protocols for physical distancing, etc., some libraries are providing book drop. It could be a DIY book drop, an automated or a manual book drop that you could put it outside of their library. And then your students who are not able to return their books before the quarantine could return it on those boxes if the library is open, on those boxes, and it will be isolated there for 72 hours, as our experts recommend that the virus will stay there for about 24 to 72 hours, and after that, wala na siyang virus. So that's on the paper. So it will stay on 72 hours. That's why the more that you can isolate the materials, the better for security and protection to those viruses. Next one, I'll show you and I'll share to you some of the efforts of our libraries and individuals right now in sharing different services. So I got this and I asked permission if I can share this from American Corner Manila, De La Salle University Libraries, that I could share the eLibrary USA, because you cannot go to the library and access the American Spaces, which was in partnership to American Spaces, which is under the United States U.S. Embassy. You have full access to these databases. So as you can see, they have JSTOR, Procast, Press Reader, Canopy, etc. As far as I know, you can still subscribe up to this moment so that you can access this databases for free. And I experienced it personally because I'm doing my thesis right now. So I'm using those free databases for my references. And they have, because I know you are preparing for digital literacy programs for your clients, we have the eLibrary USA has this digital literacy databases to empower learners with digital citizenship skills, where you can get more information and you can also use in your library services. Next one, thank you to the Director of Library University of MUNPARLAS, Ma'am Con, for allowing me to share this one. At this moment, I'm trying to share with you practical and at the moment, they are using these services as of this time of pandemic. So the University of San Carlos, the library system in Cebu, is doing an information literacy program. So they've created a module. As you can see on the slide, they have introduction and how they're going to deliver their own information literacy program by module. And then I think this would be done face-to-face as a class or group or individual instruction if allowed. But as of this moment, they are doing it with online instruction through tutorial or webinar. So there are those type of services at USC Libraries in Cebu. Congratulations. Next one. Again, thank you PNU Library for allowing me to share this one. This is an effort also of PNU Library through their Facebook accounts. Actually, these things you can find it on their Facebook accounts. The PNU Library is using Call It Destiny as their library system. As you can see, the resources that they have is available on their homepage, and you can search their collections online of what they have on their libraries. At the same time, what are the open access and e-resources that they have. So at the same time, they have library remote services, online databases access, library assistance maybe through chat, through online conferencing and the like. They also waived library fines since March 9, 2020. And that's it. So that's how they are doing their services as of this moment. So technically, our libraries are not closed in terms of service. Maybe physically, our libraries are closed, our doors are closed, but our services are simultaneously working, and we continue to innovate at this moment. I have this, I really commend this things that the librarians from President Ramon Magsaysay State University, San Marcelino Campus, and Marinduque State College Learning Resource Center, because they do the effort in checking all the links of open access books. So thank you to the app and Jana, who's the librarians at the same time, librarians on the universities in these institutions, in their libraries. Thank you to their heads for doing this type of services. They keep on sharing. This is it's kind of an informal partnership with the two of the libraries, because they keep on sharing open access books by different subjects. So you can like or follow their Facebook pages, and you can also get information about open access books or ebooks from their Facebook pages. So the two libraries are keep on sharing their open access books coming from Springer, coming from JSTOR and the like. So some open access here. So as you can see, they have anthropology, they have international law from JSTOR, and many more. So get and check their Facebook pages. You can find a lot of titles there. At the same thing, in my own capacity, what I've shared earlier was the efforts of our librarians in their libraries. But in my personal capacity, I also do advocacy for open access materials, especially this time of pandemic. And I keep on sharing news and articles about how libraries are doing right now in this pandemic. So I have two personal Facebook pages, which is Ken the Librarian as a blogger, and Magbasa Tayo Movement, which is my advocacy group. So just to introduce to you some of the things that we do in Magbasa Tayo Movement, this is since 2015, this is a non-profit organization where we advocate for reading centers for communities. And before the pandemic, we sent books to different communities, especially in Romblon, where I came from, and build community libraries. And at the same time, at Kendall Librarian, I share articles and news about the things that the libraries are doing in an international level in time of pandemic. So just go with our Facebook pages and check the contents. Maybe it could be of help. So look for our Facebook pages. So at Magbasa Tayo Movement Facebook pages, we also shared compilation of open journal and research databases and at the same time open educational resources that you may also share and use to your libraries. So we are very thankful to those platforms who compile those things where we get it, and by sharing it freely to us librarians and libraries. So those are some of our efforts at this time. At the same thing, we share story times and storytelling sessions coming from different public libraries and different advocate groups who are doing those kind of services nowadays. At the same time, so as you can see, even pandemic is here, we were able to still support a project of a Sangguniang Kabataan in Rizal where they have Eskwelakbay, meaning this Eskwelakbay project was to deliver reading materials to the homes of their constituents, of the kids and of those students. So we partner with them and we're able to provide at least 100, as far as I know, 100 volumes of materials, something like 50 to 100 volumes to the group. And that's it. At the same thing, we support. I'm sure if there's a a librarian coming from public schools, I know that they're familiar with Brigada Pagbasa. And as of this moment, especially this time of pandemic, we support the DepEd and World Visions Project on Kaisa kami sa Brigada Pagbasa, bawat bata bumabasa. So we continue to support this time. In a way, this is also a support to enhance reading at this moment at home, to encourage parents and children to read together in time of pandemic. So this is the current situation that we are in. So this is the new normal, could possibly the new normal. Most likely today at this moment and the next days to come, this is the new normal. The future of libraries, where to next? And I think this was also the future of libraries before. E-resources, most likely. Situation like COVID-19 brought the opportunity for enhancing the acceptance of ebooks, according to Dr. P.N. Bajpai from India. Actually, not all are into ebooks before. We already know we have the efforts to deliver ebooks, but not all our clients are into reading through ebooks. But I think COVID-19 is an opportunity for us to enhance also the acceptance of ebooks to our clients. And when I read an article about the new normal agenda for librarianship, according to R. David Lanches, librarians by title, by education, or by spirit must bring about a new normal that pushes society. In general, librarians are part of the recovery of the economic or the society because we provide information, and I know we can do it together. So those as librarians, go with our skills, go with the things that we have, and deliver service that we can. Focus on the things that you have right now. Go back and sit down and plan what we can deliver for distance learning. And I think that ends my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. Again, I'm Kevin Conrad Shonko. I'm a library and reading advocate from Magbasa Tayo movement. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Ms. Jen.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you so much, Sir Kevin, for that informative presentation. And now we call on Ms. Rowana Marie Flores, Treasurer of the University of the East of Library and Information Science Alumni Association Incorporated, for some reactions from the presentation. Ms. Rowana.
Hello.
Hi, Miss.
Am I audible on your end?
Yes, po.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the introduction, Jenny, and good afternoon to all of my fellow LIS professionals who are tuning in today. First off, I would like to congratulate the organizers of this online event, the MUNPARLAS and the University of the East Library and Information Science Alumni Association Incorporated for a successful partnership which yielded this very timely webinar. This webinar has given the viewers a new insight and various strategies about how libraries could combat the obstructive effects brought about by the pandemic, particularly in the education sector and the distance learning. COVID-19 has changed the world overnight, And as information professionals, we need to adapt very quickly to the changes. What struck me the most about Kevin's presentation is when he said that this pandemic is an eye-opener and we do not have any choice but to change. It is true, and we have to take note of being a change agent. We need to embrace change in order to become more relevant to our communities for the next 50 years and so. The role of libraries now stay the same but with a substantial shift in the online platform and provision of highly online content. One of our goals as librarians is to let people understand the reality of the situation and to further educate them in reducing the spread of the disease and, of course, misinformation and infodemic. Since this crisis heightened the tendency of libraries to provide remote and purely online services, the pandemic has also further emphasized the pre-existent digital divide in our communities, as most have no access to high-speed internet and computers. Let us not forget that we have a diverse client base, and we should try our very best to extend help to all and include all possible patrons, particularly the marginalized one, the homeless, persons with disabilities, among others. No one should be left behind. That should be our mantra. Let us use our creativity to innovate new library programs and services that could benefit the majority of our stakeholders. While we can't be perfect, we can do our best, and we have to do our best at all times. Again, congratulations, Kevin, on your presentation and to the organizers of this successful webinar. I sincerely hope that you're all safe and healthy and that you're able to make ends meet. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rowana. All right, thank you for your reaction. Just a reminder for if you have questions for Sir Kevin, you might start adding your questions via the Mentimeter, or you can just chat it in the Google Meet or in the FB live streaming. Alright, just for a short announcement for our digital certificate. The digital certificate, for those who are asking, will be given or will be provided to those who will answer the feedback form and will comment your takeaway at the comment section. So for the form, this is the feedback form link. Just go on to bit.ly 3D1 capital CUT9 and just simply fill out the form. And for the takeaway, you may use the FB Live chat section, FB Live comment section. You just share to us what was your takeaway from the webinar. And the digital certificate will be sent to your emails upon verifying the feedback form and your takeaway comments. Yes po. Please tell us your inputs at the Google Meet chat box. Alright, so I think we can go ahead with the open forum, the question and answer.
Sure, Ms. Jan.
Sir Kevin, we have questions here from the pre-registration.
Yes.
First question here is, what are the plans of librarian to cope with the distance learning in new normal situations?
Okay. Wait for a while. Okay. With regards to what are the plans of librarians, again, as what I've said earlier, I think with all the sharings that I have earlier, you can pick one or two maybe that you could use to your libraries as of this moment. You don't need to push yourself to have all of those things that I've shared earlier, but maybe you can choose one or two to deliver service for distance learning. One thing that I wanted to point out is that I would encourage everyone to deliver services even our libraries are closed. Look for something like, for example, if you could do document delivery service through email, contact your faculty, send an email to your faculty of what are the available resources that you have in the library, and at the same time, maybe you could organize information literary services like USC and Cebu is doing. Like, for example, you wanted to share a webinar about the fake news, especially this time that a lot of information are coming in. So maybe you could start a simple online meeting or a small group meeting through online with your faculty, giving them some points or just as simple as steps or criteria for fact checking for information online. So I think that's what we can do right now with the librarians. I know we have the skills already. We just need to maximize it, enhance it maybe. And through our sharings earlier, I believe you get something that you could adapt at this moment.
Yes. Sir, you mentioned information literacy kanina.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, miss.
What modules kaya can we use for information literacy now that most of the students are distance learners?
Right now, for the module that you have, as I shared earlier with USC, they have their own modules, but you can create your own modules. Like, for example, as simple as first module could be introduce or give an orientation about your libraries. What is the library services that is present as of this moment? What are your library services that you do right now? And next one, maybe focus on fake news. Another module that could focus on about copyright. It's very important. Another modules that could discuss about plagiarism and the like. So before creating your modules, actually there's no, as I know, there's no specific modules that you can adapt or what, but you can check GapMil or MIL Clicks. It's online it's a group of people who is pushing for media and information literacy, where you can get materials that could be your reference for your modules in the creation of your IL programs in the library. Maybe that's one source that you could get for information about IL programs.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Ms. Yan.
So is it possible to scan pages of books then send it to student? Is this a violation of copyright law?
Oh, okay. With that, let's, again, with the copyright and intellectual property, there are only pages that are allowed for photocopying. Okay? Before, when we do physical and contact. But right now, it's through scanning naman. So again, we are not recommending, actually, personally speaking, I'm not recommending to scan the books. Lalo na the printed copies that we have in the libraries, you scan it and send it to your clients. But maybe a few pages, or example, abstract, or maybe table of content, so that they can get what are the topics with regards to that book, and maybe request the printed copy na lang and deliver it to the house if there's a means to do that. But then again, always remember that you are bound for copyright law, and we don't want to what do you call this? We don't want that we would be the source of the violation to the law. So as you can see, I've shared with our Facebook pages the call by our publishers. They understand that we need to scan or use their collections or use their publications. But then again, always remember that we also need to protect our authors. So maybe you can find ways to look for an ebook copy of that certain material, if it's an open access or an article that could have a connection to the research topic of that certain student or client of the library, and you can send it to them.
And sir, in connection with the copyright, what is your idea on the digitization of the printed books and journals from our collection? Is it safe to scan them and store in the cloud storage to be used in online document delivery service?
Okay. With that, I'm not so sure if we are allowed to scan, but as far as I know, you are only allowed to scan one if it's your own publication because you have the rights with your publication. Another, some libraries is already doing this one. They are also digitizing their thesis and dissertation. But with this is the approval of the writers or the authors of the material. And maybe archives collection for digitization could be also one, but only for storage or for preservation purposes, maybe. But on those on those publications na nasa shelf natin, I do not recommend most likely. So you can check, like there is a comment right now as I can see. He shared that there are third-party sources of different privacy settings. That's true. So again and again, please always check the provisions of the copyright law with regards to these publications. Yes, Ms. Jen.
Okay, so our next question, I think everyone can relate to this. How do we convince our institution, organization, or school that the library is highly relevant during this time of pandemic?
Okay, as far as I know, this is not an issue. Actually, this is not a new issue at all, because even before there's no pandemic, there were also situations and there are also comments if library is still relevant. Is library still need this time? Lalo na't may internet, you can access all on the internet. But always remember, like a famous person says, Neil Diamond, if I'm correct, that Google can find all the information, but only a librarian can provide you the right one. So right now, one thing that you could use to present or to encourage your administrators that libraries are relevant, start being relevant. That's one. Let's start to be knowledgeable on the premise of maybe online services for libraries, because possible they know it, but they're just waiting how we librarians present it to them. Because as my experience for 5 years for presenting to administrators and for deans, etc., for those people, they are just looking our optimism, our knowledge that you are really fighting for a certain things that you want to change in the library. So they are just waiting for a proposal. Create a good proposal and defend your proposal. I know not everyone is too brave to speak in front of the administrators, but try to present and try to study those new things in the library. I believe, in my own opinion, libraries are more important today rather than before, because this time there's a lot of fake news around. There are a lot of information around. So who are the person or the profession who can help them sort it out? It is us, librarians, who could help them. So let's create, this is my personal advocacy, let's make ourselves relevant to them. Be present where they are. Kung nasa Facebook sila, be there. Kung nasa conferencing sila, be there. And kahit pa paano, start providing them information or services that we do in online learning or in online services, or even the relevance of libraries nowadays. Yun po, Ms. Jen.
Yes, sir. So what library activities aside from online storytelling can be used for distance learning?
Okay. One thing possible that we could do, like I've mentioned earlier, I would encourage you to start virtual programming. So when I say virtual programming, it's through webinar. Example, you have subscriptions to different databases. It's high time that you contact and communicate with your suppliers and distributors of those databases and systems, and try to ask help in delivering webinars on understanding and teaching our clients on how to access those subscriptions. But if you don't have any subscriptions, maybe try to to level up your document delivery service. Like for example, if you can deliver the books, if you can deliver the articles, better if you can do it. Just make sure that you do something to your life. You do something for your service. So yeah, email is there, Facebook is there. Maximize the use of it. I'm telling you, it can help you a lot in delivering service. I understand that some kasi possible, some would say, sir, nag-iisa lang po ako sa library. How can I deliver those things? What I can say is that dahan-dahan lang po. Siguro paunti-unti. Try to educate your people na nag-iisa ka so that they would also know your current situation. Like, ask a librarian, tapos you only have one comment and then you provide siguro schedule mo na it would be answered after a certain period of time or it would be delivered after a certain period of time. Thankfully to those libraries with a lot of library staff kasi mas ma-maximize nila yung personnel as of this moment.
Okay.
That's it.
Sure. What other alternative aside from distance services to provide especially to the library users who are struggling with it comes to internet connectivity?
Okay. Actually, right now, internet is one of the main source to deliver distance learning. And maybe if you have time, the manual delivery. Like for example, I read this in one of the library services. They schedule pick up of materials in the library. Like for example, because the library is closed right now. So what they did, they opened a messenger or a text or call platform where their students or clients can send messages, or if they have OPAC, they can search it online. They can deliver, and then they schedule the meet app. Like for example, meet me in the library at this time, at this moment, or at this day and time, and then we will prepare all the books that you've requested and something like that. So our librarians are very innovative in this type of services, and I think you can find ways also to do that. So right now, don't be too stressed if you don't have internet, but I would recommend and suggest start proposing for a good internet access, because that would make our life and work easier and efficient if we have internet access.
Yes. Okay, so sir,
Yes.
I think this will be the last question.
Okay, yes.
Since flexible learning is what CHED is trying to promote in this time of pandemic, what are the best library services that can we provide in this kind of environment?
Oh, okay. In this kind of environment, the most likely, in my opinion, most effective would be the online learning or the online service, because you don't have any physical contact to any of your clients. You're just going to provide them the username and password for those databases that you have. It's through online, they can access it. If you have your web OPAC anytime, anywhere, if the library has a web OPAC, anyone can access their web OPAC and check the resources available. They can put reservation, they can put requests and the like. So I would recommend, even in India, even in other countries, they are saying that our future is e-resources. Our future is online. So if you don't have it right now, maybe create a good proposal to your administration that you need a Wi-Fi, you need an internet access, because I think this is one of the priority right now. If we really wanted to deliver efficient and easy services to our clients.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. All
Yes.
right. Sir Kevin, thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Jen.
you, sir. So I think we can now formally end the webinar. May we ask Ms. Marifi Navarro, MLI's Vice President, to address the closing remarks. Ms. Marifi?
Yes, hello.
Hi, Miss.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
First of all, I would like to say thank you, Sir Kevin, for your very informative talk, and Ms. Luana Marie Flores for sharing your reaction with the topic discussed. So in behalf of MUNPARLAS Library Association and UELISAAI, we would like to thank you for sharing and joining us this afternoon. We hope you learned and inspired once again to face the new challenge that we have in this new normal. Thank you and have a great day ahead. And be safe, everyone.
Thank you, Ms.
Yes.
Marifi. All right. If you have any questions we didn't get today, or you suddenly thought of new questions, you may email Sir Kevin or any of our association. You may contact us at our email, UELISAAI@gmail.com and MUNPARLASLibrary@gmail.com. So please don't hesitate to email us. Well, I think we are just about out of time. Thank you everyone for attending today's webinar entitled Library Services for Distance Learning. This was fantastic. We were very overwhelmed with your response. We really appreciate your support. We have at least here 121 participants in the Google Meet. And we also have the FB Live as well. To those who are watching via FB Live, thank you so much for your support. And of course, our guest speaker, Sir Kevin, thank you. And we've learned so much from you this day. I'm sure several of us are now looking at ways that we might implement some of your suggested online library programs, services, and activity. Just a reminder, we really value your feedback as you leave this room. Please fill out your feedback form. And don't forget to comment your takeaways. Please comment it on our Google Meet chat box and the FB Live comment section. In behalf of MUNPARLAS Library Association Incorporated and the University of the East Library and Information Science Alumni Association Incorporated, thank you for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much,
Sir
Ms.
Kevin.
Jen. Maraming salamat po sa ating lahat.
Thank you to all.